What's up, guys? My name is SnyperSama, but you can call me Sniper. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we have episode number 8, or day number 8, of our builds for every single weapon. Today, we are showcasing a little something different. This one isn't exactly for any specific weapon, but it is going in the slots anyways, because with all of the hype around Title Update 4, we want to make sure that we are taking full advantage of everybody posting content right now, being able to see what works and what doesn't. Today, we are focusing on any weapon and the 4-piece Gogmazios set bonus skill, Gogmapocalypse. Now, typically when you look at this, you see Mutual Hostility 1 and 2, and you don't think anything of it. Well, truth be told, I wasn't too sure how this perk work, and I had to do some testing to figure it out. But let me tell you something, when I did, I absolutely lost it. I messaged my boys on Discord, went, yo, you guys gotta check this out. Look at this. And I showed them. Mutual Hostility 2 says level 1 effect is increased. The level 1 effect is increased elemental attack when large monsters are enraged. And on top of Mutual Hostility 2, you get a temporary damage barrier. Barrier reactivates after cooldown. Now, if you're like me, you probably ask yourself, temporary barrier, what is that supposed to mean? Is it like the barrier that you got from Souls of the Dark Knight during the Omega Bale fight? Or the Omega fight with the Bale armor? Or is it more so like Divine Protection? You survive one hit. Truth be told, it's like a mix of the two. And what I mean by that is I'm going to show you before we get into this build. Okay? So over here, we go ahead and go to training settings. Go ahead and turn on Agitator, Elemental Absorption, and Gogmapocalypse. Now, you can see that I have this like ribbon-esque aura floating around. This aura is as follows. The aura is your barrier, per se. Okay, that barrier is really, really nice. The reason that barrier is really, really nice is because you are able to absorb damage with it. What I mean by that, you have 150 health with a food buff. With that 150 health food buff, you also lose X amount of HP per hit. Okay, some attacks will just straight up one-shot you. Other attacks will do, say, 60% of your health. The thing about it is that this shield, the way Gogmapocalypse works, is that you will actually get a 75 health shield indefinitely. Eventually, it does run out. However, you can see here, I can just keep walking up to this dummy and getting hit. Not only because the attacks don't do a lot, but because the shield just lasts for so long. Meaning, if you're fighting lower level monsters when they become enraged, it's pretty much game over because none of them do a crazy amount of damage. But if you're fighting something, say, like Omega or Gogmazios, where they have multiple one-shots or they have multiple attacks that do significant amounts of damage, this will protect you. Now, the thing about it is that that 75 HP is really, really nice. However, you might be asking yourself, well, what happens if they hit you with, like, an actual one-shot? Like, what if it's a wipe? Well, the thing about it is it depends on the wipe. If those board wipes, essentially, are based around just defeating everybody, carding everybody, no matter what, kind of like Omega, you are not going to sit there and be able to survive it. But let's say it's something like Omega's laser, okay? Where it does the 5 laser beams at the front, or the fire, whatever it might be, maybe even mustard, okay? The mustard bomb. When you end up taking all of those things into account, what actually happens is this 75 health shield that you have is now preventing you from taking that damage. But what happens when you were to take, let's say, the big nuke attack from Omega, okay? And it does 100 damage. And you only have 1 HP left in your shield. Well, that's where it gets interesting. This shield will prevent the entire amount of damage. This shield will always defend you off of whatever attack it is. If you only take 20 health out of that shield, now you have 50 left. If you were to take a hit that did 100 damage, you are going to lose the shield, but you will not take any extra damage. There's no piercing effect, which makes this Gogmazios gear really, really nice because it allows you to play, when you play flawlessly at least, it allows you to take full advantage of something like peak performance, which gives you additional attack when your health is full, okay? On top of that, The Gogmazios gear, like I've said in previous videos, rolls with additional set bonus skills. You can see here we have Zoshia's Pulse, Super Recovery. Super Recovery is very, very important because it's going to let you continue to heal. So when you're at the top of your game playing something like Switch Axe or Longsword or Charge Blade and you're not getting hit, you're in that flow state, you're killing it, this build is going to make it to where you will always have the most amount of damage. On top of that, I'm trying to figure out a way to make this work with heroics because this is technically one get out of jail free card. So now that I've kind of explained how everything works, let's go ahead and break down the build and how it works. This build for me, I was actually using right here, specifically with the longsword, and that's because the longsword likes to take advantage, especially of its counterplay and the ability to just kind of do whatever you want it to. Not to mention, it's just nice. Longsword is really, really clean, and let's be real, the scythe looks sick. You can use this for whatever weapon you want. This is a generalist build for any weapon if you are playing at the top of your game, okay? So, that being said, we have Gogmazios Alpha on the helmet, Gogmazios Beta on the chest, Vambraces, the arms are Alpha, and then we have the Coil Alpha and the Numinous Greaves Beta. Now, the reason we are rocking all of these is because they have different effects. The Alpha Beta parts have different set bonus skills that go in accordance with them. Because I made this longsword specifically for a different build, I ended up not rolling exactly how I wanted it to, but thanks to the Gogmazios gear that we're rocking, you've got a couple different choices. Zoshia's legs, the Numinous Greaves right here, already work with Zoshia's Pulse, which means we don't need Zoshia on our weapon. You can go for one of three things. Scorcher for additional damage. You can go for Second Wind for an additional stamina gauge, or you can go with Burst Boost, and this is going to give you additional damage with Burst. It's kind of up to you. Like I said, this is a generalist set that takes advantage of when you play at your most efficient, when you are playing flawlessly, okay? Next up, at least for me, for this build, like I said, I was using a longsword. We have my Focus 3 Quick Sheath Charm. This one's really, really nice. Honestly, all you need for this is one offensive slot and one defense deco. That's it, okay? As far as the decorations for this build go, we have counterattack, 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 so 3 of them. We have 2 flawless jewels. Then what we have after the fact is actually really, really interesting. We have a mighty and a counter jewel, and then we have a gobbler jewel, an adapt jewel, and 2 recovery jewels with a second adapt jewel. This is where I said having that 2 comes into play. When you are sitting there, especially in the oil well basin, if you are fighting Gogmazios, adaptability makes it a little easier to not take as much damage, okay? So, overall, you end up rolling, as long as you use the same things that I'm using. At least for me, it made the most sense to put this on longsword with the counterplay, with how flashy you can be. The alternative could be, maybe you want to do it on dual blades, focus on dodging. The issue with it is that when you try to put this on dual blades or bow, you are going to run into stamina management issues. So things like greatsword, things like longsword, switch axe, charge blade, all of these different weapons are applicable. Use your decoration slots as you see fit. Like I said, for longsword, this is what I decided. So with everything together, we have attack boost 5, focus 3, power prolonger 3, speed sharpening, adrenaline rush, peak performance, maximum might, recovery speed, which is really nice to take advantage of peak performance. We have Zoshia's Pulse to continue healing. On top of that, we have elemental absorption to where we'll take a hit and we'll have a little better defense towards it next time. Quick sheath, speed eating, burst, counter strike, adaptability, agitator. Okay, there is a lot of stuff going on with this build, but when I tell you it is worth it, okay, we're gonna come over here now that I have my weapon out, talk to Luke one more time and make sure all of our skills are selected. Perfect. You can see here with full health and everything rocking all at once, we have 500 plus defense, nearly 300 attack, 31% affinity, and on top of that, we won't take damage depending on what we get hit by. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and hit our counter, which I'm just barely behind on. We're going to try that one more time. There we go. Boom. Now you can see with Adrenaline Rush active, we have nearly 350 raw attack. If you were to roll your weapon with, say, something like Burst Boost, you can get it even higher. If you were to roll it with the Gogmazios, or the Gogmazios Fulgur part with your Gogma Ardean weapons, the Fulgur Anjanath, you're able to get additional stamina to make it even easier to manage your stamina. You could even go for more of the super recovery. If you wanted to, you just have to adjust the build a little bit. This thing is very generalist. It is going to let you take full advantage of pretty much everything in the game because it's based off of you and how you play. The better you play, the better this build ends up performing. It's kind of up to you guys, and it's really just a matter of how good you're feeling that day. That being said, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for today's video. Thank you all for coming and watching. Thank you all for hanging out. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to comment. Don't forget to subscribe. If you guys are as interested in Title Update 4 as I am, as well as other games, don't forget that I stream most nights over at twitch.tv/SnyperSama. Thank you all for coming and watching. I'll see all of you in the next one. Farewell.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.